Victory is ours. Alright, goal for the day is to remove the dozer from the mud. Already over there digging, or trying to dig around it. Make it a little bit easier to get for it to get moving. Got the excavator here. Backhoe, swamp mats, cables, and the 850 dozer. We'll see if this is enough or not. So the idea, we're digging, humping dirt out in front so it doesn't have to climb up such a big hill. Then we'll dig alongside each track. We're going to attempt to put the big swamp mats underneath the tracks so it has something solid to hold on to. And we'll hook the 850 to the front end of it and give it a little bit of a pull and see what happens. Got the ripper down, the blade down, got the track up out of the mud. We're going to dig alongside of it. Got to shove some logs underneath that track and have it something solid to stand on. Hoping maybe we do that and we'll bring the other side up. But we'll see. Currently trying to shove one of the swamp mats underneath this track. Get it something solid to hold it up, we'll probably be okay. It's hard to see, it's in the mud. Not getting it underneath, we're just hitting this track over here on this side. We're currently trying to shove a mat under the back end of the track. We've got one under the front. The front one was easier, raised up, had a gap underneath of it. This one we're just trying to shove it through the dirt. All right. It's trying. Right on that other log up front, hold it up. We're going to hook the other dozer up. We're repositioning a swamp mat. We'll hook the dozer on the front. Just want to slide back down into the ditch. We're going to hook the dozer up to the blade. Try to have something to help pull it up and out. The 850 cable, corner of the blade. Just want to slide over home. This will help pull it out. Put a swamp mat up front. And we gotta get out of the way just in case something pops. Oh yeah. And she is loose. Victory is ours. Only took a couple hours, not too bad. 850 is pretty good size, but not with that next to it. All right, again, we'll park them up here side by side. 850C, I believe about a 45,000 pound machine. Pretty good size, but 1050, probably 100,000, 105. So quite the size difference, especially when you look at them parked right next to each other. But glad to see this one no longer in the ditch. Hopefully that never ever happens again. A little bit of perspective, size difference. You got 1050 blocks, 850 when you're looking for the other way.
Got some side cutters. We're gonna go to work on this thing again. We're almost done with the wiring. I just have to get the radio wired into a switch with my other switch right here on this little panel. And need to round this corner here off because I got on the tractor and then this happened. These are work jeans, I know, but I already had one hole here and got on the tractor and I got another one thanks to this little square piece of metal. I have some very bad news. The planer monitor works flawlessly. Just had to switch a couple wires around to reverse the polarity. She's fine. However, the radio does not work. Flip the switch, lights come on, but there's no sound. We're thinking that the speaker may be bad. So that's gonna either be a, what can we find laying around to fix this? Or it's gonna be a warranty call to Jensen. But other than that, really, I think I did a pretty semi-professional job of putting this together. Here's all my brackets. I only had to drill 2 more holes here just because there was already like 15 different holes here on the fender. And I'm powering the monitor through the cigarette lighter with this little 12-volt adapter dealio. Stick it in the adapter, flip your switch on, and all your rows come on, and it beeps a little bit, which means it's working. Now we're going to attempt to fix the front end. See how this bolt's like a 1/2 inch down from the bolster? Yeah, that's not good. And this center steering arm here is kind of sloppy because we didn't actually use the right bolts to put it on. For all our viewers at home, yes, I am wearing shorts and work boots. It's normal. Okay, we got the steering and tie rod taken out of there. Now we're going to try and push the whole thing forward just a little bit to get it to fall off of the bolster. It's just got to, honestly, we could probably take the front bolster off and then put it back on while it's on the ground.
We dropped the axle out of here.
Yeah.
And then we can get to the bolts no problem.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
We're going to take the back up with it and fix our bolts and then put it back up. Yeah. What bolster are you talking about?
What do you mean what bolts?
Bolster.
The bolt, this is the bolster.
Okay, you said you could take that one out of there?
I mean, we could if it'd be easier to get it back on the pins.
What? I still don't have under talking about.
Okay, so if we wanted to get this back on the pins with the bolster still on there, which we could do. Actually,
no clue what you're talking about. You can't do that.
There we go. Now we got another problem. I don't know if we have enough.
I told you you didn't raise anything up high enough.
Well, that can be fixed. Okay, now, shit.
This is what I told you. You have to take the
Okay.
tires off of it.
Actually, we can get to everything right here. We didn't raise it up quite far enough.
I didn't think you did.
Yeah, I know. You told me.
that.
I know. Never forget lube. WD-40 is my lubrication of choice. And you always have to have a ridiculously extended impact. Always got to have one that gives you trouble. So now we have like a 3/4 inch breaker bar and it's going to move. Here we are, me with dirty hands, a dirty face at 12:30 a.m. Dad and I got the whole front end sorted out and fixed and actually like correct now. And I've been just kind of messing around with the wiring here. This monitor runs on 12 volts negative ground only. Initially, I was trying to use this cigarette lighter adapter thing that I bought, and it wasn't working. The tip here is getting really hot and not actually producing any effects here on the monitor. So I thought, you know what, just for fun, let's switch the positive and the negative wires. And it does in fact work. So at least I have that figured out. I still have to figure out the radio. I may just end up going to the auto store and buying a different speaker. I don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't do anything. Zip, zilch, nada. My radio is gonna sit right here so I can play with that, watch my monitor, and keep myself going straight too. I think it's time to go inside, seeing as the big hand is now at the 9 and the little hand's almost to the 1. The next day, we have about gotten the top drive system put on. I put it here over my right shoulder so that when I'm looking back, checking my end rows, I can make sure that the wheels are turning, because if they're not turning, you have a problem. I figured out why the radio wasn't working. So apparently the top switch I wired has more power to it or something, because it's making noise now. And my bottom switch still runs all the LED lights just fine. So I'm not really sure what the issue is. Out of gear. Effortlessly. We're cruising. And here's Dad with the real tractor. The next day, We're gonna move this tractor into the gravel so that we don't have to stand in the mud to change one of these disc scrapers. Ah, it's been too long. Oh yeah, no problem. Bag secured. We need to get this thing parked in that barn right there. Okay, we have been unhooked. Now we gotta go down the road a little ways to a Quonset hut that's way down there. This is how bumpy it is when you don't drive an articulated four-wheel drive tractor like this for several months. I'm attempting to hold my camera level, but it's pretty difficult. The air gets kind of flat, and then it's very, very bumpy for a while. And we have arrived, guest starring the 3 rolling baskets from our chisel plow. Now we have to hook up our diamond and harrow and change a tire because it's currently off the bead. Dad decided that we were gonna use like railroad kind of tie, just big pieces of wood, and try to pull the diamond harrow up on them so that we can get the tire off. Yeah, here's our main problem, is that the tire is not supposed to look like that. So why can't we get the tire off?
You don't have the right side.
Ah, I hate when that happens. 45 minutes later, we found out that this is again a bust because the one other tire there on that side of the machine is flat as well. Project summary. This tractor, done. Planter, also mostly done. We just have to put the chain on that actually drives the transmission, air up both the tires, put the other drive chain on, put the downforce springs through the retainer that keeps them properly tensioned, if that makes sense. Got to put one of those on still, and then I think it'll be done. And I'll go and run a pass of beams out here behind the shop with it just to see what kind of population I'm going to be looking at, if there's going to be a significant gain or loss because of the top drive. And now I have to go back to Columbia, so that's an 1.5-hour drive. Also, that's a lot of money worth of air filters right there. This is the hardest goodbye every week. And have I ever mentioned that I love Northeast Missouri? 10 out of 10 place to live. Well, with that said, I think this video is done. I'll catch you guys on the next one.